Hey everybody, this is Soger. This is going to be another game review. Steve from Australia, probably my first subscriber. He's been around since day one. He's a longtime viewer. Sent me a couple of saves because he, despite his best efforts, cannot seem to get a sub 200 culture victory. And he wanted me to look at his saves and see if there is any reasons that stand out to me as to what he could be doing differently to sort of close the game out faster. He's able to produce decent yields. He sent me some screenshots. Like his yields and everything are great. He just for whatever reason can't close out the game. He sent me a couple of saves. He didn't send me a turn one save, but I was able to recreate the seed just with the information he provided. So let's go ahead. Right off the bat, this was his starting position. So given this starting position, the very first thing I do is, well, I was going to go over this way, but I keep going this way, just get as much visibility as possible. Now, where he ends up settling is right on this luxury, which I get a lot of people might do that. That is obviously the traditional best possible starting location. But what I'm going to say is the best possible start you could pick up is right here. One with the two bananas that you found right away, and this right here, cultured plantations is probably going to be your go-to pantheon. Like it's just with one luxury right here and two extra. That's three early culture. He's got secret society mode on as well. I feel I should just stay that. But two, if I move like right here, I'm moving away from what is the natural best holy site location, which is right here. It's a plus three. There's three mountains around it. Plus, he's got three places for farms. He is Theodora here. So this is a plus six holy site with very minimal effort. Once you get to bronze working, that'd make a plus six. You could put a government plaza, any number of things around it. Whereas if I settle here, you can still put the holy site here, but it's in the third ring instead of the second ring. Uh, but you're also moving towards, once you move, there's nothing over here, but everything over here, there's chops. You're moving further away from this second luxury. You're technically moving closer to these tiles, which are great. But that's going to be, second ring. Like you'll grow into these faster, which is nice, but you want those immediate returns. And this is going to get you more money by the time you can upgrade this and upgrade these. You'll be going pretty well. Irrigation comes a little bit later, especially if we want to get an early holy site. Plus, if you're going culture to plantations, you're not going to want that. Now, normally, yes, I do understand the early luxury is nice, but just ease of dropping a holy site and all that is great. And like this, all you're getting is more floodplain tiles. Otherwise, that's really all I wanted to say at the beginning. And also, the 2-2 capital is nice, but it's only nice for a little while because there's just a point where that extra production like wears off. You're going to work this tile right away anyway, so you're going to get the faith. But right here, you're taking an empty tile and making it a 2-1 tile. But anyways, let's go ahead and jump into the first save he provided me. All right, so this is turn 70. And the first thing I'm going to say it right off the bat, you're not exploring enough, especially for a culture game. On turn 70, with secret societies, the fact that you've only gotten like this far with your warrior, the warrior's injured. I don't know what happened, but this is not 70 turns of exploration here. And this is not 70 turns of exploration. Your exploration is very weak. Let's just say that right away. Based off what I'm seeing right now on turn 70, you should have found almost everyone. Especially this is a Pangea map. You should have found basically everyone by this point. So right off the bat, I'm gonna just say you need to do double scout every single game until you get your exploration better, because you're not going to be hitting your you're not going to be hitting your trade opportunities, whether that's selling luxury, selling open borders, whatever. Plus, you need to get the lay of the land to figure out where you're going to get your international routes from, because you're going to want to get international routes to everyone. So you're going to want to settle. You're going to want to settle so you can get the routes. He did say that it was sort of a closed-in start, and looking, yeah, this is incredibly closed in, and you've got two not friendly neighbors. You got Mapuche and you got Gull, neither of which is strong. Or like, let me rephrase that. Neither of which you want. They're both sort of hard to deal with. Gull, very difficult in the early game because his combat bonus is so hard to deal with. Mapuche, because you're going to want to be in a golden age here in your entire game, so he's going to always be a little bit stronger because of that. I assume that you've been friends with Mapuche, seeing as you're green, and if you hadn't been, you should have declared friendship here. There's like, this is just a not, this isn't a win. You're never going to, you're always going to invest a lot more to take out Mapuche than it's worth unless you are presented an absolute golden situation. But the fact that he has a chariot already and he's going to have plus 10 combat strength again, or not already, but the fact that he has a chariot, and you're always going to be trailing in science if you're playing a more efficient game. Like, this is just not a win. So you should have declared friendship if you didn't. Gaul, sort of same thing. I'm going to just assume. It looks like you might have been trying to get friendship with him, and if you weren't, I would have declared friendship here as well. I probably would have levied a city state because I think you're not. You're not. Let's see. What am I looking at? Yeah, you don't have enough units. If you had levied a city state, you would have met his agenda. Like right here, that's a very cheap way to meet his agenda. Because both of these are wars that just aren't worth going into unless he's given you unless they give you the opportunity. The Dutch, by all means, if there would have been an opening here, like possibly do a war here, but it looks like she's got walls already. That's just not worth it either. But the nice thing is, you say this is a closed-in start, but you have land here to settle. It's not the best land, but there's national forest here. Just because people are close to you doesn't mean you don't have places to settle. And a big thing I'm seeing right now is it's turned 70 and you got four cities. You just because you can get good yields at turn 200 doesn't mean that you've played the game well. You need to be expanding much, much faster than this. Especially with Secret Societies mode, I'm assuming that you are in Monumentality. Let me go ahead. Yeah, you're in Monumentality. And the whole reason why Monumentality is important, you're making 72 faith per turn. And right now, you could buy a settler in 4 turns and have faith left over. Why do you only have 4 cities? Why aren't you settling here? Why aren't you settling over here? Why aren't you pushing out as far over this way? It's closed. You feel this is closed in, but it's not. I'm assuming you're waiting for the ancestral hall, but what I'm going to say is Magnus should have been over here. You should have chopped this rainforest. You should have bought out and chopped these and got the ancestral hall a long, long time ago. Let's see. You've unlocked. Well, let's just guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You've unlocked 5 civics since you've had the ability to build that ancestral hall. There's no reason that you should be delaying your settling that long. Especially, I'm really happy that's in the second city, but here's the problem. You're sending your trade routes to the capital, and you have Magnus in the capital. You send your trade routes to the government plaza city. Because the trade routes are better there. Really, and I've looked at the other saves. He doesn't change that, which is the problem. You will always, always, always want Pingala in the capital, and that's why I always say it's frustrating that I build the government plaza in my capital so often. Because right now, if you look at your yields, let's go ahead and let's see, uh, cities. Uh, let's see. let's see, not faith, science, and culture. Top science is Constantinople. Top culture is the city with Pingala by 7, but the population in there is 7. So if Pingala was in here, you would be getting the most use out of his abilities. And because you did go a trade route Magnus, well, you're gonna eventually go a trade route Magnus. He would be much better there. And this is the thing, like it can be confusing when your yields are really good at turn 200, but it's easy once you get the policy cards and stuff, especially with Void Singers. So you're just not expanding enough, and you're not utilizing these governors right, and you need to be chopping earlier. I'm assuming you've probably bought some great people with faith. Let me just see here. Where is Theodora? Oh, where is your faith going? I'm assuming builders to get this, to get these wonders, which is nice. Like, I hope you're an autocracy. You are not an autocracy. And that would be the same thing. You want to get that ancestral hall as soon as possible. The second you unlocked your government, you should have chopped out the ancestral hall so you could have gotten to autocracy to chop out these wonders. And at turn 70 to still be hard building your fourth wonder, our third wonder in the capital, that's not good. You need to chop those out and move on as quickly as possible. Especially when you've got 2 rainforest tiles here. This builder should have went down there and chopped those and put the plantations back on them. You don't need that food anymore. But the biggest thing here is your exploration. So every single game from here on out, get 2 scouts right away and focus on going the path of least resistance. So whatever way you can move the most tiles, move that way in a straight line until you sort of get better at your exploration. You need to do this. And when you meet people, like let's say you meet Hungry, who's the furthest out, you need to go on their diplomatic screen and see who they met. Because right now, Khmer, the Hungary, and where's the Dutch? The Dutch haven't met anyone that you haven't met, so the rest of this map does not matter. How many people are left to find? There's 3 left to find right now. Let's see. On the opposite side, we have a person right there that you haven't discovered. Russia, you found everyone. Zulu, there's 2 people you haven't found. And Mapuche, you hasn't found anyone. Well, Mapuche are right here. Russia's down here from a previous save I already looked at. But the people who found people are Zulu and uh, uh, why can't I think of who this is right now? Nubia. So this is where you need to be exploring. So the very first thing that I would have done in this instance is gotten open borders for 8 gold and just kept on exploring. I don't know where you have, but I would just be going out this way because there's nothing more to your south and there's nothing more over this way. Use that information to sort of echolocate where the people are, because you like when you're exploring and you meet people, see who they've met. Um, Another thing, I don't know why this isn't improved, and I don't know why this isn't sold, and I don't know why these luxuries aren't sold because you have a ton of luxuries right now. You're buying luxuries. Unless these deals just ended, you should be selling these for, let's see, 23 gold per turn, 20 gold per turn, and 30 gold. Like that's like that extra gold would be getting you moving further. You already got a little bit of tourism, but that's irrelevant at this point. Let's see. Am I seeing anything else? Is this you who's? Yeah, this is right. Once you found Candy, you want to leave your diplomat in here. It looks like you might have bounced around with the diplomat a little bit to get some exploration, but that's really concerning because if you got diplomat here, and diplomat here, how come you've explored so little? That's like exploration is the key to this game. You need to find the people so you can figure out your plans. Anything else here? Your districts are, you have the right assortment, but you have no trade routes yet. Why? And this goes back to chopping. How come you didn't chop out this population? How come you didn't buy these tiles and chop out a population? How come you didn't chop out the population right here and just make it work to get those districts? I guess your production is a little bit trash now that I look at it, but I'm assuming that you went. Let's see, where? Oh, your religion right here. You went work ethic. So. By that, chop it out. Is there? Looks like you might have chopped that out. But chop out the holy site, get the farms down to it. This is really concerning that there isn't farms like right here and right here. Because if you were to put a farm right here and right here, this would be a +6 holy site already. Um, you did it here, which is good. This is a decent holy site, but I'm assuming it came out. Well, nope, that actually didn't have a feature on it, so that's fine. But like you have a +3, +4 holy site that could be a +6 already, which would be getting you this stuff faster. If you're trying to win quick, chops are your friend. There should be no features around your city. You should be buying this tile, this tile, this tile, this tile and trading those tiles out to get your districts faster to get what you need to do. Another thing, let's see how you're doing here. Hi, your tech tree, you're doing fine. Civics tree, I hope I hope that you got this Eureka. I really hope that you got this. If you didn't, you need to be watching that you're getting as many of these as possible because this one's super easy. This one should already have happened. You're definitely not going to get these two. Um, like you need to but that goes into chopping out your commercial hubs, that goes into getting your work ethic on this or this holy site chopped out as fast as possible to get that harbor, to get your trade routes where they're going to provide the most food and production, which is why the government plaza, which provides one food one production, is so important in the diplomatic corridor. You'll probably reach a lot more often in your games. Let's see, have you got the horse? Why haven't you improved this to get the horseback ride in Eureka? That's like a small thing, but I hope you didn't research this without getting that Eureka. Let's see. Otherwise, I think like you're not doing bad, but the biggest thing is you're delaying stuff too long because you're not getting these tiles and chopping it out. Which it's sort of a chain of things. If you sold your diplomatic favor for money, if you sold your iron for money, if you sold your luxuries for money, if you okay, everyone has your open borders, good. If you're selling this stuff, you have more money to buy these tiles. You use your faith to get settlers and builders to chop out and get stuff as fast as possible. It's fine if you don't care about winning under 200, but if you're winning under 200, you don't have the time to wait for all this stuff. You just gotta make it happen. Let's see, anything else? Declare war on Russia. You're not playing strong enough to let Russia be like this in your territory, and also they're going to end up being your main culture rival. I don't know if they already are in the lead, but this, let's see. Yep, Russia is significantly in the lead, and they're always. If Russia's ever in your game, especially if you're struggling to get under 200, realize that Russia, Pericles, any high culture producing civ at some point you're probably going to have to go to war with to slow down their culture production, because if we open up the culture tourism panel by Surakat, however his name is pronounced, you'll see that every 100 culture that somebody earns, they get one domestic tourist. So these high producing culture civs are going to make this number go up a lot faster. And Russia, with their free great people, they basically print them, is always going to be really high up there. uh, and you have to get a lot of tourism, 2,400 tourism, to create one international tourist for the very, very little amount of culture they need to earn to create a domestic. And that's why it's really important that you should be having open borders as soon as possible, so you're earning 25% more. Because if you look right here, you're earning 200 and you're earning 20 tourism per turn because you got open borders where you're only earning 16 right here. So this and 13 turns will get you a tourist. You're not even close on 13 turns here. So that's, you got to get these modifiers really early. I still wouldn't send an international trade route early for the modifier unless you have extra, because the other thing is you're just not producing stuff fast enough and you need to get your internal trade routes faster. All right, let's go ahead and bounce up to the next one. So here we are on turn 100, and you've explored a little bit more, but it's turn 100, and this is as far as your scout got. Like, well, what happened? Well, like it's dead now. What did you do? I mean, it's fine if it got hit by a disaster or something, but this is why. Like, I'm going to say it again: double scout every game. Don't even think. Like, just queue them right away. And really think about how you're exploring. Don't just travel a direction, especially like I would pick a straight line with, like in this game, I would have sent the warrior all the way to the left like you did. Other scout goes to the right, and first scout goes south, and you go that direction until you either hit coast, tundra, or all the people you meet no longer have people that you haven't met, and that's when you sort of deviate from that straight line. But at this point, you should be able to locate perfectly where the people are, because Australia right here hasn't met someone. There's someone right here, and Zulu, perfect. So those three, um, Zulu met two, the other one only met one, so they're right here. Like they're like right here somewhere. Like right in this block, this is the only place you need to explore right here. So I would have sent that scout in the water after meeting Australia. I would have doubled back this way. I would have pushed through Australia and see if this connected here. But no matter what, every unit I had would have started going this direction to find those last two people, because the sooner you meet those people, you can figure out how you're getting international routes to them. You're settling up here, which is fine, but this is the other thing about exploration. The units over here, let's pull up the settler lens. You've got much better land here than over here. Like look at your map. I know what ends up. I can actually guarantee you what happened is you thought, okay, I'm settling the city here because it's the best city I have. Because you are closed in. You have people close to you, and you probably did exactly what I said. Okay, we settle over here because it's what's available. But the second you find this land, this is much better. It also helps you get trade routes over here. Like late game, if you settle here and push down, and start settling this land, you can get trade routes all the way this way, without having to do an international route here. You're going to want to settle this way too to get a route to Nubia and all that. But that's why exploration is so key, is you're missing, you're just settling cities, which is fine. I settle some absolutely terrible cities. I'm not saying that this is bad because it's a bad city. I'm saying that this is bad because it doesn't really advance you much. You could have got Nubia with this trade route. Australia, honestly, with the size of the map, it would probably even be easier to settle a city here and then settle a city here and send water, a route around the map. I don't know how far that distance is, but that might have been an easier option. You're still not settling enough. Like that's going to be the main thing. You got a lot of wonders, but I would almost say you need to stop doing wonders until you can get your cities out, until you can get your government plaza buildings out, until you can get your trade routes out. Focus less on wonders and more on empire building, because wonders provide terrible tourism. They don't really pay off. Like an Apadana rush is a really good strategy, but not if you are doing it at the cost of expansion. At turn 100, to have 7 cities and 4 trade districts is not good. I would be the first one to say you don't need 10 cities by turn 100 to sub 200 the game. That's irrelevant. But with 200 faith per turn, there's no excuse to, like, every other turn you can be buying a settler. There's no excuse to not have an army of settlers going out, especially when you had provisions on Magnus right away. You didn't get any value out of that. Pick your trade or pick your governor titles in a sense that in an order that makes sense. If you're only going to settle 4 cities, go surplus logistics to get your trade routes better first. Get Pingala out earlier. Don't waste your time on this, especially when you have a very food heavy start. Growth isn't your issue. I wouldn't even have gotten provisions. It hasn't helped you at all. And really, with this start, it would have never helped you. You had so much food here. Like, actually think what your governor title is going to provide. This would have been a one title or 2 title Magnus for me. But once again, you have Magnus and Pingala reversed. If you're doing a trade route Magnus, which is very strong, the surplus logistics Magnus, he goes in this city because this is always going to have the better trade route. Your capital is always going to have the best science and culture. Because once again, let's go into the yields. And most science is now by 10 is the Pingala city. And oh, look at that. The thing that matters, culture, the capital is so much further ahead. And let's look. Oh, 11 population. So if Magnus was in here, add 13 minus 11. And oh, yeah, that is the most yields here. So if you manage to get the government plaza in your second city, which you did, which is amazing, put Magnus in there. Put Pingala in here. Pingala, unless there is a reason, Pingala should always, always, always be in your capital. And I'm sloppy about that too. I'd be the first to say I'm sloppy about that. Hey, look, have an alliance with another civilization. Um, well, that's not good. Like that's really bad. How come that hasn't been done? Like what? Like what? Like what are we doing? Like what? Huh? Why is that not done? Um, just like I'm not trying to be mean, but like I don't know, just make an alliance. You have the ability to do it. I hope you got that. Um, but actually opening this up, I do have a couple of concerns just looking at this. Uh, why did we unlock exploration? You're never gonna go into Merchant Republic. In a culture game, the civics tree is the easiest thing in the world. Early empire to get your open borders, to sell, then political philosophy to get your government. And this is what you're queuing to. You queue to early empire. Then you queue to political philosophy, and you try and get as many boosts along the way as possible. After political philosophy, you get to reform church as quickly as possible if you're doing a monumentality game, because this is dropping the cost of all your faith purchasing. After reform church, we don't go to anything else but conservation. You queue to conservation and you unlock as many of these boosts along the way as possible, because there is no item in the game that is easier and synergizes best with a monumentality heavy faith play as the naturalist. All right, this is your single best tourism item in the game other than rock bands, but this comes earlier and it's easier to do. Rock bands comes later and it's pretty much the closeout item if you're doing like a sub 200 game. So you want to queue reform church, then go to conservation, then go to Cold War, and then go to social media. You don't queue anything else. You don't pick and choose civics that aren't on the way to those things, because those are the things that are going to get you that win. Because where these cities are terrible because they don't really have good land, these are amazing. These are amazing national park cities. Like there's so many parks in here. Which actually makes this really good land because you don't have to plant trees. You just have to get naturalists. And at 200 faith per turn at this stage of the game, you're going to be able to get a lot of naturalists. Another thing, why are we building a campus? You don't need it. You have 100 science per turn. Void Singers is giving you all that you need for science. Even if you didn't have Void Singers, you only need to get to printing and then start going to flight. Um, if you're going to do like tile-based tourism, or if you're not going to do tile-based tourism, go to steel. If you're playing Secret Societies with Void Singers, go to flight first, then go to steel, or go to steel and go to flight. Doesn't matter which way, you're going to probably get to both of them pretty quick. Flight does a little bit better because you have seaside resorts really close behind it, and it's also on the way to computers. But if you have a very high faith output, which you have here, if you go to steel and get Eiffel Tower, that will make all your national parks for more tourism, which can close out the game really, really, really fast. So once you get to printing, which you should already have, you shouldn't be working on anything else until you get to printing. You should choose which way you're going to go. Are you going to get a ton of parks? Steel. Are you going to need tile-based tourism and seaside resorts to close it out? Then you go to flight and computers. All right. Another thing. How do you have no great works right now? You have Apadana. Like, all right, let's go into quick deals. Let's go into great works. Let's go into writing. There we go. For 11 gold per turn, I just added 4 more tourism. Like, how many great works can I get right now? Let's see, I added 4. I added 8. I added 12. I added 16. I added 20. There, I've doubled your tourism pretty much. Like, I have doubled your tourism. Well, let's see, 4, 8. Yeah, but if you'd had printing, I would have more than doubled it. You get great work slots, fill them. Don't wait to earn them, buy them. Especially with Russia in the game, who's a declared friend. He has no shortage of great works to buy. You don't have to earn any of them. Just buy them. Another thing, back to the campus. Just run campus, or not campus project, theater square projects. Just do that because that will get you this great artist, that will get you this great musician, that will get you this great writer to fill these slots because you don't have a lot of gold. It looks like you're not trading gold per turn, which is fine. Like that's good. You don't need to. If you learn to sub 200 without trading gold, you're a better player. Like that's just factual. Like I do it because it's funny, but like in games that matter, I don't do it. So you don't have a lot of gold going on right now. So because of that, you're going to have to earn a lot more of these. But don't build a campus. You don't need science. Run those theater square projects. The hippodrome is fine. Yeah, build that. That's fine. But why are we building walls? You could be building a harbor. Why do you even build a holy site here? By the time you settled this after turn 70, we don't need holy sites anymore. You need the trade districts. You need theater squares. You're probably going to end up building a holy site here. You're not transitioning to the district you need early enough. By this point, you already have decent faith per turn. Let's be transitioning to trade districts to grow your cities, to get in production, to get that early population, and to get your extra trade routes so you can be getting these international routes. Because the beauty of your high food starts here is you can be doing those international routes earlier and be getting that tourism boost and building your trade network sooner. Um, let's see, anything else I'm seeing. But yeah, you should be getting those great works sooner because I literally just doubled your tourism. And if I would have got printing, I would have done a whole lot more than that. And it was very, very, very simple. Do you have open borders with other people? Yes, excellent, perfect. That is great. Let's see. Anything else I need to check right now? Your religion, your religion is perfect. Religious colonization, excellent. World Church, excellent. Like this is perfect. Obviously. But religious colonization, did you grab that first? I think you did, didn't you? Yeah, you grabbed that first. If you're gonna settle as slow as you did, just spend the faith to buy missionaries and go world church first. Uh, but also just don't settle as slow as you did. That's a huge problem. You because you also haven't gotten any great merchants from getting those trade districts late. You've lost out one trade route here. That one's a throwaway one, but that's fine. But you lost one trade route that could have been used to grow your empire. That's why chopping this stuff out is so important. You need to chop everything out that you can to get the trade the commercial hub, so you can start earning these great people, because the great merchant great people are amazing. Um, and don't waste your faith on great engineers. I know I do it all the time. Like I do it, but that's because I'm expanding as fast as I do. Like let's not run before we walk. And expansion is walking, getting these cities out, building your empire, building your internal trade network, getting your cities positioned so you can get international routes out, realizing where to settle is walking. And then once you get that down, focus on, okay, I can get all these wonders out to get envoys to these city states. I can buy great engineers to do this because I have learned how to expand in a manner that allows me to do this aspect of my game. Because this will help you shave turns in some instances, but not always. But getting more cities out sooner will shave off turns no matter what. Let's see. It looks like you're going to war with the Dutch. I get it. She denounced you. But her land is worthless, and she's actually helping you win the game because, let's see, where's the Dutch? The Dutch have 29 domestic tourists. She's an easy trade route to get. She's helping you win the game. Don't attack her. Defend yourself, get pillages if you want to, but don't conquer her. She's helping you win. You know who you conquer? Russia. Even if you can't conquer them, you need to find Russia and take his cities out, because look at, he's neck and neck with your domestic tourism. That needs to be stopped. His growth, his expansion needs to be stopped. His culture output needs to be stopped. If you aren't growing your tourism value very quickly, and you see someone take off like this, they need to be stopped at all cost. And once again, it's the high culture civs. So any civilization with a very easy culture bonus needs to be stopped. So just like I said, you need to build 2 scouts. Every time you see Russia in game, you need to think, okay, how do I go to war with them? And you need to do that war at some point. Even if you're raising their cities, you need to go to war with a Russia, with a Khmer if they take off, with a Pericles. The second you meet them, you need to in your head go, okay, I have to go to war with them, and then figure out how you do it. That's not an option for you. You're just not growing this number fast enough to not do it. Uh, but and this also goes into, because you're not focusing on what you should be focusing on in the culture tree. Government, Reformed Church, uh, conservation, rock bands, social media, win. That's it. Nothing else matters. Nothing else on that civics tree matters. Science tree, same thing. You're not focusing on what matters. Printing, if you need cartography, and then steel are going down towards computers. Like that's it. You don't unlock anything that isn't on the path to those. If it isn't on the path to those, don't unlock it unless you absolutely need it. If you absolutely need like swordsmen for some reason, yeah, go ahead and unlock it. If you absolutely need knights, unlock it. I get you unlock this because you're going to war, but you're going to the wrong war here. It's not going to help you. It's going to hurt you. Um, anything else I'm seeing? But no, the other thing is, once you reach your theater square in a culture game, if you're not building a hippodrome, you should just be doing theater square projects to get more culture and more great people points. So it's turn 120, and yeah, in 20 turns you've upgraded knights. If you're like you're just not you're you're not doing anything fast enough. Uh, these chops are still here. Why? Why? That's another population you could add sooner to have another district here. That's some more food that could have got you something, or another food production shop. That's another food production shop. Those are still there. You know, those chops could have got you stuff sooner. Uh, you're almost to conservation. But look at how many unnecessary things you've unlocked. Which this is killing you. The way you win faster is to reach this stuff before the AI has defense for it. Because right now, let's see where Russia's at. Russia's at 139, and you have an alliance with them, which is great. The biggest rival you have in game, who's absolutely no threat to you, and let's see who's Russia at war with. You could have declared war and gotten so many people to join that war, even if you didn't make money off it, and like just weakened them, just stopped them from growing. Like you could have raised as many cities. Heck, you could have taken them out of the game. If you would have taken them out of the game, you would have cut the amount of international tourists you would have had to produce by half. And you need to be watching this. And if you see something like this where he's at 100 and everyone else is like half that, he needs to disappear or be completely like just taken out. There's no option to not attack him at this point. Even if you're sending your entire army through here, like just get a city and conquer them. Let's see. And you almost have conservation. I hope that you get like a ton of national parks, because you should have it. You have enough to buy four naturalists right now, and you haven't expanded out this way, and you have less than 10 cities, but you have enough to buy. Where's your settler? You have enough to buy, I don't know, five settlers right now and lots of land. Like it was a tight start, but you had land over here. You still have a ton of land over here. Like this is all available for you. Heck, even these -20s, not really -20s, because you settle here, you chop for that population, you match their population right there. You get a trade route in there to grow that population. You toss a governor in there, you'd be able to settle it, because if you look, like the population changes really quickly. One, two, three. The four tiles away is -10. So with a little bit of population, you could grow that city to loyal really, really quickly. Like, and just settle this whole landmass, and there's your international routes to all of them. You still haven't explored the most obvious place to explore. uh like like anything, send anything over to where the people are. You need to meet them to earn tourism with them. You can win a tourism game without meeting everyone, but it slows you way, way down. We're building walls. Let's see, what is a wall worth? A wall is worth two tourism. Two tourism. You're devoting that much to two tourism, and at this point, you have one book that is giving you four tourism. Um, let's do the math. You could be doing theater square projects to get you all of these filled, all of these filled, or you could be building walls. Invest your production into what matters. And what matters is those great works. What matters is stopping Russia. What matters is getting these trade routes out faster because let's look at this. At this point, you want to start like at turn 120, you want to be getting your international routes out already, and you're at 8 trade routes. If you want to win this sub 200, this is the part where once you are getting tourism, you want to get it, but you're only generating 68 tourism right now, and you could fill these slots. Let's see, at turn 120, you could have bought, let's see, without any like effort or way to change anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, you've got 6 books. There, that's, let's see, let's see. Well, 6 by 4, that's 24. So minimum 24 tourism. I just increased it by a third. And once again, why that matters is instead of earning, like, you're now earning almost 100, which means in 24 turns you're earning a tourist. If you added 25% more on top of that, you're earning it faster. Why are we doing military engineering? To get more walls. Um, all right. So, seeing as you're going to get more walls, you're going to steal, which means you better have gotten a lot of national parks down because it's the single best tourism item in the game. It just is. So I hope you got a lot of national parks down. Um, because if you didn't, like, what are we doing here? You're trying to win. You're going to war here, uh, but you're going to war with the wrong person. I'm going to say that a million times. Your war should make sense. If it's a science game, go to war with whoever because you need to get those pillages. Like in a culture game, these pillages don't really matter anymore. You're past that point. All right, 20 turns later, you were 3 turns away from national parks when you were on turn 120. It's 140. Let's see how many parks you have. Let's go ahead. Park. How many are there? There should be a lot. You have a lot of faith. You have 2 parks. Uh, 2 parks. Um, let's see. Is it because you don't have area to build them? Let's go ahead and buy a naturalist. Let's see if I just buy one right there. How many Oh, there's park location there. There's park location there. There's a park location right here. If you remove the, oh wait, you can't buy those. You can't buy enough tiles to do that. Never mind. But there's park locations. As a matter of fact, if I was to do, um, no, that won't work. But you have more park locations. Those all should have been put down immediately. Once again, you've sent one international route, and it's to Russia. And I get your Russia and Gaul. And I get your thought. Your thought was that I need to send it to Russia because he's leading in this, and that doesn't matter. This number doesn't matter. You can earn tourism from literally anyone. This does not matter. So just send them to everyone. Uh, it doesn't matter who you're earning the tourism from. This number means absolutely nothing to you. This is what matters right here because all you have to do is get 200 or 2,400 tourism, which is this number right here with all your modifiers. Oh, Netherlands, you don't have open. Oh, that's because you're at war. You're at war. You're taking cities. Great, but that doesn't matter. It's just getting you more land that isn't really useful. And it's not doing anything, and you're just devoting a lot of resources and just mental energy to it too. When you're playing, you only have so much mental energy. So when you're going into a war like this, you're gonna start making worse decisions overall. It's just a reality because you're just trying to focus on too many things. You have no great works. Like, that's another thing. Get great works. Like, all these should be filled, because let's see, Russia has. I bet you him by himself. Yeah, him by himself, he could fill your entire. He could fill your entire Great Works panel, buy those things, run Theater Square projects. Crystal the Redeemer sucks. It's terrible. I know people think it's good, but it's not. It's just awful. Unless you're playing a Relics game, or unless you're going to spam Seaside Resorts, where multiple patches by Seaside Resorts being the best source of tourism. That is so long ago. Christ of the Redeemer isn't worth the time. I know to this day people still say it's one of the best culture victory wonders. I'm sorry, all you people are wrong. You just are. It's not good. Religious tourism doesn't matter. And seaside resorts are outdone in every way, shape, and form by the ease of ski hills. Now, if you have the great engineer to rush it, I believe you have Wonder Great Engineers somewhere around here. That's fine, but you're better off with Eiffel Tower, which is going to make your national parks that you should have a lot more of better. This is just, and it's not a fault. Ever like so many people say, "Oh, Christ of the Redeemer is such a great wonder." I'm sorry, all you people are wrong. You're just wrong. Fight me for it. I don't care. I honestly don't. Like, you can be wrong. That's fine by me. If you want to do it, that's great. But unless you've spread your religion to everyone, this doesn't matter. Unless you're doing a relics game, this doesn't matter. Um, and you would be better off doing once again theater square projects because you haven't earned any great works yet, and it's too far into the game, especially when you're still building holy sites. It's turn 140. Why are we building holy site? Why are we building pagoda? Why are we building temple? Faith per turn no longer matters. It hasn't mattered for 40, 60 turns. Be building theater squares earlier so that you could be earning the things that are actually winning you the game. At this point, uh, you should once again. I'm going to beat this dead horse. Uh, Government, best government, conservation, rock bands. Nothing that isn't on that way. Let's see, rock bands. Which you're going that way now. You have to unlock all this stuff. Opera's worthless. It just is. Capitalism is the worst civic in the game. It unlocks nothing. It literally is the worst civic in the game. It unlocks nothing, and it costs the same amount as ideology. Why would you ever unlock this? The card is worthless. The card is worthless, and the shopping mall is worthless. Um, so why are we doing that? You need to focus on your civics tree, just as, like I said, your science tree. You need to focus on it. You're getting to flight, which is all right, but I would have went steel and I would have gotten these national parks down. Um, but actually, flight's probably better for you because you're going to want to get to computers. So no, this is right because you're going to need this computers 25% overall boost. So actually, you should be doing that because you're not utilizing national parks well enough. Um, but yeah, you still haven't expanded enough either. With the amount of faith that you had, you should have expanded, expand. Um, let's see. I'm just trying to see if there's anything that's like glaring. But mostly it's just improper utilization of stuff. You got tired of this flooding, which is once again d- d- just deal with it. I'm sure it was annoying, but it wasn't really. It wasn't worth the production, is I guess what I'm saying. You could have got so many more theater square projects, which could have got these filled, and Pingala, even with your very few trade routes. Uh, so this Magnus never paid off because you never had enough trade routes for it to matter. Pingala should be in here with the curator card because your capital has the most great work slots. So even if this was your trade route city, you should have filled those slots and got Pingala in there. You need to utilize these bonuses because once again, that 100% tourism from all great works, that's pretty impactful. Let's see, anything else that's really sticking out? No, like really your lack of expansion and your improper pathing down the science and culture trees is killing you. Yes, your yields are great. And by the time you got to 200, I'm sure your yields are amazing, but yields don't tell the story. That's why, like I say, this panel is absolutely worthless. What matters is where are you actually at in game? What are you actually accomplishing? These numbers can fool you into thinking you're doing a lot better than you are. These numbers can fool you into thinking you're doing a lot better than you are. How fast are you getting to Reformed Church and conservation? That's all that matters. I don't care what this number is. I don't care what these numbers are. How fast did you get to this to win the game? Uh, so those yields are definitely confusing you into thinking you're doing a lot better than you are, and that's hurting you. But it's not your fault because you're not. I'm assuming you haven't put a lot of thought into how you actually win the culture game, and I think if you just go in and before you even start the game, go, okay, I need to go to early empire, then philosophy, then Reformed Church, then conservation, and then that just happens, you'll do infinitely better. Like just because you'll be reaching those sooner. Because I mean, it's not like you're doing like a ton like super. Well, you got a couple of industrial zones. It's not like you're doing a ton super wrong, but you're not utilizing stuff correctly because you're taking weird paths to get there. Um, I don't know. There's not really a ton to say because like I would like to see a game where you do a double, maybe triple scout start, where you focus your science tree to get printing, to get cartography, and then to get to steel and then computers. And one where you did the civics tree, where you focused on getting to government, getting to reform church, and then getting to conservation. I would like to see a game where you did that, where you just queued it and you tried to get all the boosts along the way that you could, and see what your results are there. And if you sent me saves on that, I would it would show me a lot more because the problem is. You didn't explore enough, you didn't expand enough, and you're taking improper pathing. So there's not a lot of tweaking to do. What you need to do is the large scale fixes. Um, that is getting like you need to do a lot of the large scale stuff better. If I said that right. Because once again, the yields are going to confuse you because you did get a kill wall, because you did get these wonders to get your yields up. It's going to confuse you into thinking that you're doing a lot better than you're doing, um, to win the game. Yeah, if you just want to eventually win, your yields are amazing. I bet there's a lot of people who are looking at this thinking, oh, that's great. You're doing really strong. Because you're doing all right, but you're not winning the game. And like when your goal is to win the game, these numbers matter, but they don't. What matters is getting this and getting all of these bonuses to get that as soon as possible. But yeah, I hope this helps out. The other thing, like I said, not enough great merchants have gone out, and you're still losing great merchants, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, I hope you're not. You're still losing great merchants. You lost another trade route. You don't have enough trade districts. You should be winning all those great merchants. And you also want to get those great merchants out faster because there's a great merchant that gives you plus 25% international tourism to all trade routes. That could just add like another source of tourism. But no, you just need better map. You just need to pay attention to your map better too and start thinking, how do I get international routes to people? Um, and honestly, rock bands isn't going to solve this. Rock bands isn't going to be enough to slow this down. Conquering them is the only thing that's going to slow them down. Because if you look, everyone else, you're going to smoke. You're going to absolutely dominate everyone else and get this victory, probably pre 200. and you could just filter rock bands into whoever's closer and win this game. Russia, like an AI that is focused on culture will stop you from winning a sub 200 every single time because you're not focusing on what you need to be focusing on. I would say definitely go to the workshop page and find Suricat's tourism panel. Just so you can open this up every once in a while and realize that you need to get this number, and this is how you get there by getting the open borders and the trade route. Don't worry about the government. The AI picks terrible governments. The bonus that you get from the bonuses you get from the government will do more for you than having the same government as the AI. So that one you ignore. But yeah, if you have any other questions, let me know. I would say, but the biggest thing is you just need to do your exploration and expansion way better, and then once you get to Theater Square, stop and just start doing Theater Square projects. But yeah, I hope this is helpful, and anyone else who watched it, I hope you enjoy it. If you have any questions for me, let me know. All right, bye.